finished 12 Rules for Life. I fucking finished it, people. It was, including the last part, all the reading, I'll just say, like, the index and stuff left out. All the reading was 370 pages. It took me too long to finish this. I should have finished it earlier, but I'm still really happy with myself for having read all of that. It's the best book I've ever read, okay? My video on Jordan Peterson, how he broke my mind, actually did decent. It did 100 and something views. For a long form, for me at this stage of my career, that's a lot. 100 and something views is not something I normally touch. I normally get like 15 to 40 views. 15 to 40 views. And so I'm thinking, Alex Hormozy talks about how he doesn't read just a shit ton of books, especially because we typically have not mastered the content in a book the first time we've read it. I can tell you this book is so dense and the information is so complex and it applies to so many different parts of my life that I have not even begun to scratch the surface on all of the things all of the wisdom that's contained in this book. So I actually plan on rereading it. Whether I will immediately reread it or first reread a different book, like the Joe Dispenza book on meditation, regardless, I'm going to reread one of the books I already own. I'm not going to go get a new book. I'm going to reread one of the books I already own, and I'm going to break it down and talk about it on Josh's Journal. So, like, I'll have an episode dedicated to rule number 11, chapter 1, whatever that rule was. Let's see what it was, just for the sake of it. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. Highly complex, you know? And the stuff that goes on in the chapter is highly complex, not the title of the chapter. He has a way of like wording it in a way that has almost nothing to do on the surface with the actual rule until you read it and you understand it, and then you can come back and be like, yeah. But the reason I want to do it is A, I will better absorb the material in the book if I have to teach it or talk about it. B, I will better absorb it if I just go through it again. C, it was a great book. I completely just haven't understood it, and so I guess this is the same as B. Just want to understand it better. But also, people don't read. You know a fucked up joke that people tell that's so real? If you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. Fucked up, but honestly, I'm black and I can tell you it's true. It's true, which is a shame. So I thought, damn, I could be the bridge between A, black people don't read, B, young men don't read. Young people don't read, but young men, who is the majority of my current viewership is young men, just don't read, and I read. So instead of fucking yelling at them, telling them, go read, why don't I just bring them the information? Like, if anything, that's just gonna get me more views, right? People need to learn. People want to learn, but they're too fucking lazy to read. So go watch Josh's Journals. There's your excuse to come watch Josh's Journals. And I think that it would provide a little bit of structure to my episodes and encourage me to read. It would make my reading attached to my working. I'm trying to attach everything to my working. So even this J. Cole album that I'm about to listen to, I'm going to enjoy it, but it's going to be work. I'm going to count it as time under the content clock because I am going to be recording it for a reaction video. So yeah, thinking about doing that. I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to do it, but mind is moving in that direction. You'll notice I say that a lot, which is a way of me hinting at you, future Josh. You have commitment issues. You come up with great ideas and you don't always just go with them. But I think I actually will do this. I just don't want to say I'll do it so that I don't feel like a bitch if I don't do it. But one of the things that he says in this chapter that was very profound and like it stuck with me. Let me read it to you real quick. Oh yes. A few things. Listen to this. It is my firm belief that the best way to fix the world, a handyman's dream, if there ever was one, is to fix yourself. Anything else is presumptuous. Anything else risks harm stemming from your ignorance and lack of skill. But that's okay. There's plenty to do right where you are. After all, your specific personal faults detrimentally affect the world. Your conscious voluntary sins make things worse than they have to be. Your inaction, inertia, and cynicism removes from the world that part of your soul, or no, I added that in, that part of you that could learn to quell the suffering and make peace. And that's not good. There are endless reasons to despair of the world and to become angry and resentful and to seek revenge. Failure to make the proper sacrifices, failure to reveal yourself, failure to live and tell the truth, all that weakens you. And in your weakened state, you will be unable to thrive in the world, and you will be of no benefit to yourself and to others. Capitalism is the problem. White people are the problem. America is the problem. Donald Trump is the problem. Like, you are the problem. It's not the system, it's not the world, it's you. And the sooner you could get to fixing you, you could actually contribute to changing around. I mean, the fact that we're so powerful that if there's something you're truly passionate about and you make yourself the best version of you possible, you could actually maybe not entirely solve the problem, but go a big fucking way towards rectifying that issue. Let's take Elon Musk and climate change. If you were worried about climate change as a young boy growing up, what better way to fucking fix it than to propel the electric car industry and massively contribute towards everyone moving away from fossil fuel and into green technology. Massive impact, massive, by becoming the best version of yourself. You don't have to have the most grand goal. It doesn't have to be, I'm gonna fix the world. No, you probably don't care about the whole world. You probably have one specific issue or a few specific issues that you are very passionate about. Maybe it's civil rights. All right, cool. You wanna help feed immigrants to America. You could go and start a company that does that. You could start a movement that actually addresses that. Instead of just typing away and complaining about shit on Twitter. Like, we know people think that they come up with these profound ideas when they go complain on the internet. And it's like, why? Why do you feel that way? Why? It's just not helpful. If you could instead rectify your own life, improve yourself, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and go do something about it. That, my friend, that is real power. And you're all capable of it. We all are. But the thing is, are you going to be the kind of person that cashes in and actually changes something? Cashes in on their potential, and actually changes something. Or are you just going to complain? I could talk about that forever. This is actually why I'm definitely going to do the Jordan Peterson series. Because there's so much value in this book. Like, even just feeling how hyped I am talking about this, I know I should do this. This is probably why the Jordan Peterson video did well. Because it gets me amped up. Because I care about this shit. And I also feel like, truthfully, a lot of people don't have the IQ to actually take this book in. It's very dense. It's very complex. And I feel like because I'm literally not as smart as the guy, the language I'm going to use and the metaphors I will use and the way that I will, the anecdotes I'll use, the way I'll break it down to people will be much simpler, and they'll be like, simple, basic people language. It makes sense. Instead of the words he uses, which are insane, but I love the book. There's another one. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Oh, this one is good. What shall I do in the next dire moment? Focus my attention on the next right move. The flood is always coming. The flood is coming. The apocalypse is always upon us. That's why the story of Noah is archetypal. Things fall apart. When everything has become chaotic and uncertain, all that remains to guide you is the character that you have constructed previously by aiming up and concentrating on the movement at hand, on the moment at hand. If you have failed to do that, you will fail in the moment of crisis, and then God help you. You see, that actually is an idea that Alex Hormoziak also talks about, which is your progress is not your business, it's not your bank account, it's not the amount of money you have, it's you. You are the progress. They could freeze your bank accounts, they could seize your assets. If you have the knowledge to actually replicate your success and do it again, There you go. That's the whole reason why education is so valuable. They can't take it away from you. They could take everything else away from you, but they can't take your mind, they can't take your soul. And the apocalypse is truly always coming. Things are actually literally constantly falling apart. And our job as humans, as men, as women of honor, and who want to have a positive impact on the world, is to do our best to keep things in order. We have to combat the intrinsic chaos of the universe. That was very well articulated. I wonder if it has something to do with the edibles that I popped earlier. And this will be the last one before I just sign out here, because I do need to get the pool rolling. There's a lot. This is like the acknowledgements chapter, so he's just listing questions quickly and like firing off answers, right? Ooh, there's actually 2 in here. I'll do 2 and then I'm done, I promise. What should I do to justify the suffering of my parents? To justify the suffering of your parents is to remember all of the sacrifices that others who lived before you, not least your parents, but that means your ancestors, who fucking fought tigers and shit just to live, just to fuck, just to have the guy that had you. Anyway. I got so hyped I just went on it before I even finished it. To justify the suffering of your parents is to remember the sacrifices that all those who lived before you, not least your parents, have made for you in the course of the terrible past. To be grateful for all the progress that has been made, and then to act in accordance with remembrance and gratitude. People sacrificed immensely to bring about what we have now. In many cases, they literally died for it. Martin Luther King died so that I could be here and not be like a fucking slave. Like literally, people died for me to be here. And we should act with the respect of that fact. So I always tell people, like, I have to aim for the fucking stars because my parents have worked their butts off their whole lives for me to be at this school, at this place, in this country, with this socioeconomic status, and this background, and this potential. If I was born in a village, like, things are capped. If I didn't have this education, if I didn't have this exposure, I would have a limit on how far up I can go because things are capped. But people worked really hard to get me here. I'll be damned if I do anything less than fucking blow this bitch to the moon. People should be like, yeah, it was worth it. I want my ancestors Dougieing and fucking partying in heaven. Like, yeah, that's us. It was worth it that I got, like, enslaved. Chased by lions, suffered the terrible fate of being a human, sickness, death, suffering, all for me to be here. Like, I want to make it worth it for all these people, right? And then the last one, this is actually the last one. I'm looking for it. Where is it, dude? Oh, I remember. There it is. What should I do with my life? Aim for paradise and concentrate on today. That's what Geppetto does in Disney's movie Pinocchio when he wishes upon the star, which I literally watched the other day, by the way, because of this. I watched Pinocchio for the first time. The grandfatherly wood carver lifts up his eyes to the twinkling diamond set high above the mundane world of day-to-day human concerns, and articulates his deepest desire, that the marionette he created transform himself into a real boy. The central message of the Sermon on the Mount. The Sermon on the Mount reads, this is from Matthew 6, chapter 28, up to 33. And why ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Wherefore, If God is to clothe the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow cast in the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Therefore take no thought in saying, what shall we eat? What shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. What does that mean? Orient yourself properly. Then, and only then, concentrate on the day. Set your sights at the good, the beautiful, and the true, and then focus pointedly and carefully on the concerns of each moment. Aim continually at heaven while you work diligently on earth. Attend fully to the future in that manner, while attending fully to the present. And then you have the best chance of perfecting both. So I actually got chills reading that. And here's why. If you're anything like me, which I think you are, if you're watching my channel, you're living in the future. What I mean by that is you're literally not thinking about like basic like beta niggas, like niggas that just aren't, people that are just, I'm just gonna go to class and then when I do my homework, I can go party. Like they're not thinking about 10 years from now. And if they are, they're actually, no, they're not. They're just not thinking about 10 years from now. My mind is 20 years out, 30 years out, 40 years out. I'm thinking, fuck, like I need to start making bread now so that I can give my parents rest and respite from all of this work shit so I can elongate their lifespans, so I can keep them healthy long enough to, you know, intersect with whatever future advancements come in medicine. I gotta be on top of my finances so that when my sister gets to that age to where she's pressured to get married, she doesn't rush into something because she knows her brother has her. I'm thinking I actually need to contribute to my sister's fucking college fund so I can take pressure off of my mom and dad so they can step back and retire and actually start doing the things that they care about. I need to start working hard now if I'm ever going to be able to be free and not have to be a slave to this 9-to-5 life forever. You're not thinking about next week. You're thinking about 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now. But that's very hard to maintain all the time. You have to be in some sort of yin and yang with being in the future, but also maintaining the intricacies of day-to-day life. I'm planning for the future. This content that no one's watching now, that I believe people will come back and watch later, I still have to make it. But in the current moment, I have to maintain my health. I still need to go gym. I still need to sleep adequately. I'm still a student. Whether I like it or not, I have grades that I have to keep up. I have homeworks I have to hand in. Exams I have to take. Shit I have to study for. It's inconvenience, but it's like, it's day-to-day life. If you go so far in the future that you forget to manage your day-to-day life, things will fall apart before you even get there. So there's an art. And I love the way he says that he wishes on a heavenly star, ignoring the mundane day-to-day life shit. Because everyone has dreams. Everyone's got someone that they talk to. I mean, you should. I talk to God. And I'm Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I pray to Jesus Christ. Pray to God. And I think about my future and what I want. And I wake up and I go and I go to my Spanish class. I go to the gym. I go to the cafeteria. Like boring day-to-day mundane shit. But before I go about this shit, I'll meditate early in the morning. And I need to incorporate prayer and Bible reading. But I'm getting better at that. But orient yourself towards something higher, something distant. Pray on it. Meditate about it. Focus. And then give it to God. I think the hard part about life is figuring out that you're not actually in control of everything. I've talked about this all the time. It's a common theme on my channel because I am Mr. I want to control it all. But I realize how much of this shit just isn't in my control. Yes, I'm smart. Yes, I work hard. But like, again, genetics. Why are you smart? Why were you not born into a fucking poor ass family and not even able to have got educated? Why were you not born with AIDS? You would have been dead by now. Like, I'm 6'1", healthy, happy, born in a socioeconomically stable family, had an excellent education. I'm currently in college. I'm gonna graduate by the time I'm 23. Probably go on to make fucking tons of money. Not probably, definitely. But some of this stuff is God. All of this stuff is God. there's a balance between what I'm doing and what's in his hands. I'm praying about shit, but like, dude, the subtlety of life is all God. How did I stumble across Tom Bilyeu, who gave me a growth mindset? Like, why that specific day? Why was that on my algorithm? How did I even get to being in a position to be where I am now, to have these goals? It's all God. So he's saying, if God takes care of like the grass and the birds and all of this shit that is like, no offense, but less complex, less meaningful in a way. They're not less meaningful, but you know what I mean? We're humans. Humans are truly amongst the most fascinating and just brilliant creatures on the planet. God takes care of the grass. Grass gets burnt. Grass gets fucking eaten up by cows and shot out. If he takes care of the grass and the cows, what more is he gonna take care of you? You gotta learn to trust this dude. So aim up and focus on the day. And that being said, I really hope that helped. I'm obviously gonna do this Jordan Peterson shit. You know, give me 10 likes, man. Give me 10 likes on this video. I'm not asking for much. 10 likes, and we're gonna start the series, man. I'm gonna go through this book, 12 Rules for Life, and give you section by section, chapter by chapter breakdowns. You know, this is a dense book. It's complex. Not everybody can handle it. Not everybody wants to handle it. It's 370 pages long. I will read it to you. I will give you the lessons from it. If you give me 10 likes. Give me 10 likes, or if not, maybe even comment an alternative book that you want to read, but you don't want to read. You want someone else to read it to you and give you the sauce. Comment down below, bro. I'll do that shit for you guys. For the 5 guys that watch my channel. But hey, man, love. It's time for me to go listen to the new J. Cole album. I'm excited for that. I feel super articulate. I don't know what it is, but I truly feel locked in as fuck. So maybe I should talk more, but yeah. And honestly, I'll keep it a buck with you. I'll probably cut the video, and so I'll come back to this point. If you're seeing this, there's a separate video about Jordan Peterson on my channel. I kind of give my top three points from Jordan Peterson's acknowledgement, and I just go into detail on them and talk about them. I kind of got taken away on a rift. I didn't want to include it into this video because I want them to be shorter, so these will be 2 separate episodes. One coming out tonight, one coming out on Sunday. There you have it though, people. I hope that you enjoyed the little catch up. Thank you for sticking with me 30 episodes deep into Josh's journals. More to come, more greatness, more vibes. Let's go! Umakwan!
Take responsibility for yourself. In bearing that noble burden, you'll find the self-regard that sustains you through catastrophe. And if you can take care of yourself, well, maybe you can dare to offer your hand to someone else, to your wife or to your husband, and you can say, we can join together, and as a unit, we can be stronger and more responsible than either of us could be apart. And then if you're careful and awake and you take on the responsibility, you can manage that. And then if you can do that, maybe you can dare to bring children into the world. And you can say, well, we can weld our family together, and we can make of our local environment a place of productivity and harmony and generosity. And if we can develop expertise in that, that will be a meaningful adventure. And then maybe we can extend a hand beyond that to our local community, to our neighborhood, to our town, to our city, to our nation under God. And we can serve at every one of those levels of hierarchical responsibility. And in doing that, we find the adventure of our life. We find the meaning that sustains us through catastrophe. And we simultaneously protect ourselves from being the aimless slaves who do nothing but wander blindly in the desert, and from the tyrants who would like to govern every single action we take. If each of us did everything we could do and needed to do, we would have no need for a king. We're sovereign citizens. We have responsibility for our own destinies. If we take that on, there's nothing we can't do. We organize ourselves properly. We aim at the truth. We interact with each other as reliable, productive, and generous individuals. We engage in the proper sacrificial service that enables the community. And we tilt the world towards heaven and away from hell.